beautiful. I'll tell you, I thought I could get one more week out of these flowers, but not so much. Even yesterday afternoon, they didn't look bad, but today they seem to have turned overnight. But they're still yellow, and we will still celebrate the joy that they have given Unity Center for the past week. But I'm looking at them thinking, they're a little wilted.
Talk fast.
Yes. It's okay. It's okay. Today's lesson is on the law of self-righteousness. The law of righteous self-interest, actually, is what it is. Righteous self-interest, not self-righteousness. Yeah. Righteous self-interest. It's about humility. It's about placing first things first. But true humility is expecting God's best. Imagine if you always expected God's best. What if you decided that this that just happened must have been God's best? Whatever just took place, this must have been God's best. How do I know? Because it just happened. And you started placing your faith in that. Instead of, gee, I wish that hadn't happened. Geez, because you see, the reason I wish it hadn't happened is because I don't want to have to feel how I feel over it having happened. Certain things I want to feel, and so I look forward to those, and then I get a little angry when it doesn't happen. So it tells me I'm trying to manipulate the world with my thoughts so I can feel a certain way rather than know that I am the Son of God. But what if all our efforts were now to have thoughts to remind us that I am the Son of God? I'm not saying I am Jesus. I'm saying I am the Son of God. That's what Jesus claimed he was the Son of God. He didn't say we weren't. Just that he was. Well, I can say that too. I'm the Son of God. So there. Could you bear you are. Could you bear to know that you are the blessed child of God? And it's what you are. Just because you don't know what it means doesn't mean you're not it. We don't know what love is, but we're love. Just because I don't know what things are doesn't mean they don't exist. I'd go to Home Depot and point out many things that I don't know what they are, but they certainly seem to exist there on the shelves, don't they? But I couldn't begin to tell you what they do. I can go to a lot of stores and see lots of things on the shelves. And I'm not going to tell you they aren't there because I don't know what to do with them. That's kind of like love. I can't tell you love doesn't exist. I can just tell you I don't yet necessarily know what to do with it. At least not when I'm carrying an agenda around with me. When I'm carrying an agenda, I've got to use love so I can feel this way. No. I am using love. And this is what love looks like. If I want to see love differently, I've got to use it differently. As I've said so many times, the co-founder of Unity, Myrtle Fillmore, said, owing to a lack of understanding of the health laws, neither of us was as healthy as we ought to have been. And so that must go with all laws. Owing to a lack of understanding of the harmony laws, I must not be living in harmony the way I ought to, or the wealth laws, I must not be as wealthy as I ought to be. Wherever you think there's some lack coming up in your life, wherever you're not at peace, it must be due to a lack of understanding of the law in regard to that. So it would be in your best self-interest to get understanding of that law, wouldn't you say? If you want to be at peace, it can't be about getting the world to change. It can't be about getting me to change. It can't be about me getting you to change. It can't be about me trying to get this carpet to be a different color or my shirt to be a different color. It can't be about me trying to get David to say different things or think differently. It can't be about that in order to be at peace. In order to be at peace, I need understanding of the peace laws. Period. Understanding and practice of them. If I have aches and pains in my body, it must be in my best interest to get understanding of the laws of the physical body. Not the doctor stuff, but the laws. The laws have to do with thought. And so if I am not happy with the amount of money in my wallet, I need laws of understanding of wealth, not cash, but wealth. I need a wealth consciousness so that I can know I am wealthy, so that I can understand to a much greater degree the source of my wealth, the source of my health, the source of my harmony. That's what I need to be in touch with. The source, not the effect. If I want to be at peace, if I want to know that wisdom lives in me, if I want to know that power and presence are what I am, it would be in my best self-interest, wouldn't you say? It would be in my best self-interest to understand what love is when I turn on the news. It would be in my best self-interest to understand what love and peace and joy are when I come into we'll say confrontation with another being. Confrontation doesn't always mean battle. Confrontation usually means a coming together to understand what the other one is thinking and perhaps express to that one what I am thinking. But what I'm confronting is resistance. One does not confront resistance with more resistance in order to find the peace that exists in God. A confrontation is really about an openness to understanding. That's really what a true confrontation would be. I read this in my new book here. We're trying to get these into the bookstore. I'm not sure if we're able to get them or not. Be right with you. Don't talk amongst yourselves. Okay. The universal law of righteous self-interest. Our purpose is to experience, understand, and grow. It is to give to others for our own benefit and theirs. When we are aware of our connection to the Creator, we have light or understanding. When we are aware of our light, we are to give and to share our light. We will not be able to hide it. By sharing our light, our awareness, we show compatibility with the Creator. We are then His vehicles to awaken others to His light. Would you like to be the example of light today? Would you like that, or are you looking to others to be the example for you? Are you waiting for somebody else to be the light shining to you? Or are you saying, God, I'm willing to be the light that shines today? It is no effort to be the light that shines today. All I'd have to put down are my grievances, and they're not really doing so much for me anyway. All I'd have to put down are my thoughts of lack, and they're really not doing so much for me anyway. That's all I'd have to say. I'd have to set down the temporary. That's all I'd have to set down for my thoughts, is the temporary, in order to be the light that shines today. Because what I give to myself. And so, as I give the light, I must be the light. As I give of understanding, I must be understanding. If I give of peace, I must be peace. If I give away that which I am, I'm just multiplying more of what I am. And then I'm going to see it in the mirror, because if I'm willing to know that I am peace, I'm going to be looking at peace in the mirror. I'm going to be looking at it. If I admit I am love, I'm going to be looking at love in the mirror. And if I want to say, I can't even admit it, but I can make it up to say, I am stupid, I'm going to be surrounded by idiots. If I am ugly, I am surrounded by ugly people. Well, that's no fun. It is no fun at all. But it's fun to be the light. It's fun to be forgiveness. It is a joy. You know, one of my favorite things Eric Butterworth said, in a traffic jam, wave them through and watch them smile. And sometimes when I forget that I'm good, that happens. I forget to wave them through, and I drag them down the highway with me in my mind, sometimes for hours. But if I just wave them through, I'm done. I'm done with the conflict. And I can drive on my merry way listening to a joyful song. But otherwise, I'm going to find another idiot just around the next corner. And yet another one's going to cut me off and be slow and be... But when I said, Shawn, I don't want this today. Shawn, you don't want this today. And I changed my mind because I've just decided I'd rather be polite. I'd rather be what I am. And I understand it's a battle throughout the day with everything that comes up. It's like, I've got to choose again, and I've got to choose again, and I've got to, but it is in my best self-interest to choose again. Wouldn't you think it's in your best self-interest to choose yet again for peace, to choose yet again for love, to choose yet again to be the freaking light, to choose yet again to be compassion? I found it interesting that some people had some difficulty with discovering what their greatness is today. Your greatness is whatever you appreciate. That's what your greatness is. It's because if you read this coming Wednesday's letter, and I hope you do because I've already written, it's about an appreciation. Because appreciation multiplies. What you appreciate, it's like you put money in the bank and it appreciates with interest. And that means it grows. It expands. So look to appreciate more and more and more. Be diligent. Pay attention to the good in your surroundings. Observe, notice. I always say pray diligently, which means to pay attention. Live diligently, which means to pay attention. If you just tunnel vision, okay, I'm going to the car because I've got to get over to the church, so I haven't noticed anything on my way to the church, and now I got to either get to lunch, or I've got to get to Stu Leonard, or I've got to get home, and I've got to not noticing anything. And and is that in your best self-interest? Our best self-interest is to be a part of the community at large in whatever way you can start. It does not mean you have to belong to every club in town unless you're really good at that, unless you really thrive at that. But everybody thrives by giving a smile. Whether the person smiles back or not, I gave a smile. I gave it freely. I gave it unconditionally. I gave it without expecting anything in return. If I gave it and I'm mad at the person for not saying thank you or smiling back, I didn't give it unconditionally. Then I still believe God has conditions. Then I'm not expecting the best of God, and I've lost my humility. What I've just entered is humiliation. When I have an expectation of someone and they don't live up to it, I've entered the land of humiliation instead of humility. But to give freely because I'm willing to understand love. I'm willing to understand peace. I'm willing to understand joy. I'm willing to understand. I'm willing to live in the law that God set down, the creative source set down, because living within the law, embracing the law, is how I will live well. Would you tell them I'm busy? Okay. And I'm going to get out, like I say, I don't care. Hi, Mark. I don't care. He's my first divorce.
Kidding. I know.
No, I married he and his partner, and they divorced within a year.
I want to say thanks.
I'm going to get up and give this talk and be mad at somebody whose phone goes off. That's craziness. That's craziness. That all of a sudden, that's the exception. Look at your exceptions to God and ask yourself, are my exceptions to God in my best self-interest? Are they going to help me be the light? Are they going to get me through the day confidently, securely, assuredly that God is good and so am I? That I resemble God? So again, I ask you, observe your greatness. Use it in your humility, not your humiliation. Your humility. You resemble God. Oh, I resemble God. I mean, it's like, oh, hi, God. You look in the mirror, hi, God. First thing in the morning, you look in the mirror and say, hi, God. It's hard not to smile when you're greeting God in the mirror. Hi, God. Instead of, ooh. I don't do any of that. I don't criticize myself in the mirror. Like, what are you going to do? Get up and criticize God? If you're just greeting God as you're about to brush your teeth, hi, God. It's a good reason to brush your teeth in the morning. Hi, God. And the joy that starts your day, it's in your best self-interest to greet God. And when you're greeting God, you realize you're greeting yourself. It's not separate. It's not different. It's what is. And so in this law of righteous self-interest, you must understand that you living a great life is service to the community. You living in happy, joyous, and free is service to the whole world. And you can't escape it then. And you don't need the whole world to give it back to you because you're seeing the joy in the world. You're the one who's insisting on seeing what is instead of what isn't. People will get used to it. They will get used to being seen as they are. Because it's really hard to resist having the Christ beheld in you. It's really hard to resist having the good seen in you. It's really hard to resist being loved for the sake of love. It's such a great thing. So the talk was called I Offer Myself to Thee. Offer yourself to God today. Offer yourself to what you are today. Offer your problems up to the truth, to have them brought back to you in truth. Offer your confusion over to truth, to have it given back to you in truth. Offer everything over to truth, to have it given back to you in truth. It's in your best self-interest.